Welcome to another exciting edition of the Million Dollar Peddlers. Fresh from prison release, it's Paper Guy.
I am Mr. Magazine.
And these are my favorite shows because we don't prep for them at all, and it'll show. But you have no idea at all what we're going to talk about.
Nope, never do.
You mentioned something to me before the show, which actually got me thinking. And you probably don't remember what it is, and I don't either, which is why I have my handy little sheet here.
I thought you were going to say bail money to get you out of jail, but okay.
But you were talking about having a pod filled with stuff, and you were talking about selling it. And you were also talking about, which we're going to be doing a video on, a large haul that we got, or you got, of Star Wars stuff, and how you aren't even sure if you're going to be able to list it. And that kind of ties back into us both having problems, as many people watching it do, of continuing to buy. And I guess, what is your philosophy at this point as far as buying goes? Because you've got too much stuff. I've got too much stuff. Most of the people watching out there have too much stuff. What's your philosophy?
This is how I look at it, and my employees hate me for it. But we have this gigantic...
Well, that's not the only reason, I'm certain.
True. But we have this big warehouse. We basically filled it up just in 2 years' time. 20,000 square feet. I have a sea container the size of an 18-wheeler parked right outside here. That's filled up. But I will continue to buy no matter what, for the simple reason that I think it increases value in my company. So if I ever wanted to sell my company and said, hey, I have 1 million items listed, I have 500,000 items not listed, that's all worth something to someone to keep this going. If I were ever decide to sell it, or someone ever wanted to buy it, you know, I look at it that way. But, you know, another thing is I'm very competitive in the sense that if I don't buy this, someone else is going to buy it and make money on it. Why not it be me, you know?
That raises a thought, which I want to bring up, but I'm sorry, this entire time watching the brick behind us, you know what I kind of wish that I had? One of those little jeweler hammers.
Oh, like Shawshank Redemption?
And maybe a poster. Any chance you can get me that? I can put this behind me. Yeah, Raquel Welch. And then about 20 years from now, when we come time to do the video, you'll be like, where's Paper Guy? And you'll pull down the poster. It'll be wonderful. I agree, but I disagree. And one of the things that I'd like you to think about, and I know we've talked about this before, is you've got a number of employees and you can't keep up.
Correct.
Say I were your competition, which we work together, we're not really competition, but say I were your competition.
Okay.
I'm probably the more typical competition of yours in that I'm a one-man band.
Right.
If a deal came along that was an okay deal, and think of it this way, what would happen if you dropped that on me? In other words, I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if the next deal comes along?
You have less money for it.
I have less money. I have less time.
Right.
I have less space. So I guess the thought is try to buy the good stuff and pass on the mediocre. But I know we've talked in the past that you tried that at one time.
Well, the good stuff is few and far between. As it, you know, high-end $100, $1,000 items, they don't come in daily in volume. So yeah, you're gonna buy those when they do come in. But for me, it's the monster deals that there's 1,000 pieces or 10,000 magazines, because you can buy them pennies on the dollar and sell a fraction of it and get your money back in no time. So you can't really get hurt, you know, from my perspective.
Do you recall, I think we even did a video about this, talked about this in the past. You tried probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, a couple of years ago, where you were trying to buy, I don't want to use smarter because that implies that you're not buying smart to start with, but you were trying to cut out the riff-raff deals.
Right.
So what you did, and I don't know if you remember this or not.
Or okay deals that you don't make a lot of money. So either junk stuff that's peddling $5, $10 items, which isn't worth it, or a deal that you're paying too high a percentage, you're not going to make much money.
So what you told me that you had done was somebody would come in with it and you'd look through it and you'd say, usually I'd pay 40, I don't want to buy it.
Right.
So you'd offer them 25 on it just because you really didn't want it.
Right.
And they're still selling it to you.
Yeah,
and so then you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't stop buying stuff.
Yeah. Now I even go lower because everyone always counters back. So if I'm willing to, you know, if I normally would pay 50 a year ago and I'm going to offer 40 and pay 40 now, I come in at like 30 or 35, because then I hit my mark, because I know they're going to say, oh, and these people, they want to feel like they beat you out of $5. It makes them feel good. So I come in lower, and we negotiate, and they feel it's like Pawn Stars. You're going back and forth, and they're happy, and I still get a better deal than I would a year ago.
So I've got to start coming back because I just go okay and push the stuff at you.
Exactly.
But I guess that kind of ties into one thing that I wrote down on here, and I think it's something to remember. And I know I've done a video on it before, but it's probably more important now. Don't buy projects. And what would you define as a project?
3,000 record albums, and there's only 100 good ones in there. And you can get them for $200.
Okay.
So it's appealing, but a lot of work, a lot of storage.
Oh, I see. And I was coming in at project a little different way. The way I was coming in at project is I know nothing about 78 records. I've got a chance. No, I do not have this chance,
right.
But pretend I have a chance to buy 1,078 records for $100.
All right, I'm stopping you right there because this just happened to me a few years ago. You know our boy Scott, our buddy Scott.
Yeah, yep.
He brings in old ephemera, magazines, and so forth. And I hate 78s, even though there could be some great ones. I don't even care. I don't want to know about 78s. They break. They're fragile. I'm not as knowledgeable in the field. 33s is what I know mainly, in 45s. So he comes to me and goes up. He cleans out houses. Mm-hmm. He goes, I have at least 500 to 1,078s. And I said, you know what, Scott, good for you. I don't want them no matter what. He goes, I got to get them out of the house by tomorrow. I'll do all the work. Give me $100. Okay. Fine. He delivered them to me at my shop, and guess what? They're still in my garage. They're still in my garage in the corner, and there's probably a lot of good ones in there because I did skim through them, and there's some obscure labels, so I know there's some good ones in there, and I could probably sell one to get my money back if I look deep enough. I just don't have the time for it. So that is a perfect project, but again, I don't have a lot of money invested, and it's at my shop where I'm really not paying for storage. So. Well, someday. I'm
going to tell you a quick story, and I think the person found me off Amazon. I'm not certain, but I got a phone call a couple of days ago from a lovely lady from outside of Dallas, and her husband just passed away, and she had found that I had a book listed that her husband had. So she gave me a call, and I talked to her for a while, and she's supposed to be getting some pictures together at the library and sending them to me, and this, that. And I'll tell her what to do with the things. A lot of it I told her she's probably just going to donating, but at least she can donate knowing they're not valuable. And there may be some things in there that are valuable to me, and I can make her an offer on them. I don't know. I took 20 minutes, half hour talking to her. It was nice talking to her and that. But she asked what I bought. And I kind of basically said, I buy anything made out of paper except stamps. And it's not that I won't buy stamps. It's that stamps are a project. And the only way that I would really feel comfortable buying stamps would be, and I've done it before, you buy a big batch of unused stamps, and you sell those as postage at a percentage off, but if you're buying them right. If you buy something very easily marked, such as the first day covers, you buy a big box of first day covers.
Yeah.
I sell them all together as first day covers. I'm not going to break them all up. I just sell first day covers all. Yeah. Or if you buy a collection of a collector who's got everything marked what it is,
right.
And then you can say, okay, I can list them all. But for me to buy a box of stamps and to go through it and know, oh, this is the 8 perforation versus the 12 perforation. This is the cyan versus... That's buying a project. And it could be the most incredible deal in the world. I don't have the time nor the inclination to learn stamps. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you saw this or not. This airplane's upside down on this one. They made a mistake. Okay, that one I would buy. That one I've heard of. But other than that, I just do not go after stamps because that would be a project for me. And I have enough things that are not projects.
Sure.
So I guess that's kind of the way that I look at it is... I'm trying to weed out the lesser stuff as best as I can. Now, sometimes it just comes along with the deal, nothing you can do about it. Sometimes, like you said, the deal is just so incredible.
Right.
But if you're getting into something that's way outside just because you know it's a good deal, but it's going to be a lot of work, glass negatives, slides.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all wonderful things you can make a lot of money on. I don't want to learn glass negatives. I don't want to learn slides. I've got enough stuff already. I don't need to branch out into something like that.
Sure.
Records. Occasionally I buy records here and there. I know you do a lot more of the records than I do. Occasionally I pick one off. Obviously, if I'm at a sale and I see a Beatles for $1, I know enough that, hey, that's worth $1. But I'm not going to go down into the obscure, deep labels and all that kind of stuff because I don't know enough about that. Not that I wouldn't buy. Somebody had 1,045s for $10. I'm buying them, and guess where they're going?
Thank you. You got room right down there.
So I guess keep buying, but try to stay away from the projects. Well, that's always good to do anyway. Try to stay away from the projects. Sure. So good luck to you out there, and you're not alone when you're tripping over your death piles. We've all got the same problem. But Christmas is coming, and hopefully the buyers will clear us all out, and we'll be doing a video next year saying, sell us stuff, please. Till next video.
Thank you. Bye-bye.